Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining me for today's Yoga in Our City virtual studio class for beginners. My name is Kate, and I will be guiding us through this practice together today. Today's class is going to be a gentle power flow, and we will focus on cultivating compassion for the self through loving kindness. Please consult a medical practitioner before engaging in any exercise, including yoga, with any questions or concerns. This is especially important if you are nursing, pregnant, taking medication, or have any pre-existing medical conditions. With this yoga practice and with any yoga practice that you participate in, it's important to keep in mind that yoga is your practice, which means it's more important to pay attention to how each pose feels within the body versus what it looks like on the outside. Your body never has to look like mine or anyone else's. And if at any point in time throughout your practice you feel something that resembles pain, which can sometimes show up as a burning, throbbing, stabbing, tingling, or numbing sensation, that's your body's way of telling you that that pose does not work for you, to come out of the pose, try it a different way, maybe using a prop or taking a different variation, or exit the pose entirely. I'll be giving a few resting options for poses throughout the practice today in case you need them, but please feel free to enter a pose of your choice at any point in time. Okay, with that said, we can begin. I invite you to find a comfortable grounding posture, ideally sitting or maybe standing if seated is not comfortable for you. If you are choosing to sit, perhaps you're choosing Sukhasana, an easy seat. But if Sukhasana is not comfortable for you, maybe you're choosing another seated posture. Maybe the legs are straight out in front of you. Maybe you're seated in a chair. Maybe one leg is straight, one leg is bent. Or maybe you're choosing to stand. I invite you to find a posture where you can elongate the spine. So if you are seated on the ground, I invite you to elevate the hips by sitting on a cushion or a block or a bolster. And if you are seated in a chair, notice where the sit bones make contact with the surface. You might begin to gently rock from side to side or front to back. And if you are standing, maybe you're doing this with the feet on the floor. Or if you're in a chair, maybe you're doing this with the feet on the floor. Just noticing where the body is making contact with the ground. And finding stillness when the sit bones or the feet have the weight evenly distributed upon them, rooting down through the feet or the sit bones. On the inhale, elongate the spine. On the exhale, draw shoulders away from ears, maybe gently squeezing the shoulder blades together behind you to open up the front of the chest ever so slightly. If you are in need of being more open in your practice today, maybe you choose to bring the hands by the sides or rest them on the thighs with the palms facing up. Or if you are in need of more of a grounding practice today, perhaps you rest the hands somewhere on the body, maybe the thighs to start. And if it's comfortable to do so, gently close the eyes. If eyes closed is not comfortable, find a spot in front of you that's not moving and gently soften the gaze around that spot. As we begin to cultivate compassion for the self today, I invite you to bring into your mind somebody who you admire, who you wish to be like, someone who makes you feel great in their presence. If you don't have a person, maybe you choose a place. I invite you to think of a person or a place that brings you a sense of joy, happiness, peace, and envision who that person is or what that place is in your mind's eye. I invite you to acknowledge how that person or place makes you feel when you are in their presence or its presence. Do you feel at peace? Do you feel joyful? Do you feel accepted? Do you feel warmth? What do you feel? And notice if you can feel those feelings anywhere throughout the body as you bring this to your mind. And if you can, it's okay if you can't, but if you can, I invite you to place your hands wherever you might feel that emotion or that thing that person or place makes you feel. Now I invite you to envision what quality that person or that place has that makes you feel that way. For example, is that person loving? Is that place calm? Is that person kind? Is that place peaceful? Whatever it is, see if you can name a quality or a trait that is associated with that positive feeling that that person or place brings to you. Now I invite you to turn that quality into a statement of loving kindness for yourself, a wish for yourself. For example, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy, healthy, or safe. Any or all of those words, or some of your own, creating a mantra of loving kindness for yourself that you will commit to throughout your practice on the mat today, and maybe even off the mat if you choose to do so. It can be one statement, it can be two, three, or more. You choose. And every time we return to our mantra throughout practice today, I invite you to embrace the feeling that is cultivated within you when you think of the qualities or traits that your words bring to you. Taking 3 full rounds of deep breath, belly breathing, saying your mantra out loud or in your head to yourself with each inhale. I'll do mine as an example, but feel free to use your own words as always. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy, healthy, and safe. When you are done with your 3rd round of deep belly breathing mantra, return the hands to the sides if they weren't already there, and take a moment to carefully open the eyes and look around the external environment, taking in the lights if your eyes were closed. And if you are standing, make your way to a seated posture, elevating the hips if you need to. We'll do a few warm-ups in a seat of your choice. To begin, rooting down through the sit bones. On the inhale, elongate the spine as the arms come up overhead. The head follows the hands. Exhale, hands make their way to heart center. Linking the movement to the breath, so moving at your own pace. For the entirety of your inhales, the arms are making their way up. And as you begin your exhale, the hands make their way to heart center. Again, throughout the practice, I will be cueing breath, but feel free to move during your own breaths, your own pace. This time, as we inhale, just the left arm comes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, reach the left arm up and over the right side body, keeping both sit bones pressed firmly into the mat. Inhale, reach that arm back up to center. Exhale, switch those arms out. Right hand comes up, left hand out by the hip. Reach the right arm up and over the left side body. We'll move back and forth here on the inhale, right arm comes back up. Exhale, switch those arms out. Left hand comes up and over the right side body. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, switch the arms out. Right hand comes up and over the left. One more round on each side. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, switch and over. Inhale, back up. Exhale, switch and over. This time, inhale back up to center. Keep that right hand reaching up to the sky above. Exhale, bring it across the body, maybe grabbing onto the left knee. Left hand comes behind you as you gently gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale, grow a little bit taller. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper if it feels okay to do so. Inhale, grow a little bit taller. And exhale, release back to center. Inhale, both arms come up overhead. Exhale, reach both hands forward, forward folding over the legs if the legs are crossed or if they're straight out in front of you. You choose where to place the hands. The hands can be on the ground, on the floor, or on a mat. Keeping a lift in the chin and chest, maybe some movement feels good. Just noticing how the low spine and the glutes feel. On the inhale, add some weight to the hands and slowly walk the torso back up to center. Change the cross of the legs, make it the awkward or uncomfortable way. Inhale, left arm comes up to the ceiling. Exhale, left arm comes across body, maybe grabbing onto the right knee. Right fingertips come behind you, gently gazing over the right shoulder. Twisting open to the right. On the inhale, grow a little bit taller. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, grow a little bit taller. Exhale, release back to center. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. Same thing on this side. Again, hands can come anywhere that's comfortable. We're just looking to explore the sensations in the backside body. We're not looking for any stretch here. Just want to know what's going on with the glutes and the low spine. Maybe some movement feels good. Maybe stillness feels good. On the inhale, plant the hands where they are. Walk the hands towards the torso, bringing the torso back to a seated posture. Hands come to knees. Inhale, chin up towards the ceiling. Exhale, chin down towards chest. Shaking your head or nodding your head, yes, very slowly noticing how this feels in the neck and shoulders. Bringing the head to stillness, shaking your head no from left to right, bringing the chin towards the right shoulder and then over to the left. Again, noticing how this feels in the neck space and the shoulders. All of these seated postures are used as a diagnostic tool to help you get connected to your body and notice what your body needs so you can adjust your practice accordingly. Now we'll take our head laterally, so dropping the right ear towards the right shoulder. Inhale back to center and exhale left ear to left shoulder. Going back and forth if it feels okay in the neck and shoulder space. And when you're ready, inhale the chin up towards the ceiling. Exhale left ear to left shoulder, making a slow and big neck circle. When your chin gets back up towards the ceiling, take it the opposite direction. On the inhale, bring the Head back to center, moving on to the shoulders. Inhale the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale them back and down, starting the shoulder circles to the back, making these as big or as small as you feel you need today, bringing the awareness to the shoulder space. And take the shoulder circles the opposite direction. Finding stillness with the shoulders, grabbing onto the knees. Inhale, pull the chest forward, almost like we're doing a seated cow posture. Exhale, start to make a slow and big circle with the torso, as big as it feels comfortable for you. Moving in and out of seated cat and cow. So as you pull your chest forward, you'll notice more of a cow-like position with the spine. And as you move the spine away from the knees, it's more like a cat position with the spine. Taking the circle the opposite direction. And then inhale the torso back up to center, making our way into tabletop position. Hands and knees, if it's okay with the knees. As you'll see, I have a blanket to cushion the hard surface my knees will be on. I invite you to do the same if you have any discomfort in the knees here. You can fold up this blanket or towel as many times as you need to feel the proper amount of cushion. In tabletop, wrists beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips, pressing down through all four corners of each palm as you gently tuck the tailbone under just ever so slightly and suck the navel up and in, embracing or engaging rather the core here. To maintain this posture, we'll move into balancing table. On the inhale, send the right foot out behind you, flexing the foot. Imagine you're pressing the heel into the wall behind you. You can always use a wall as a prop as well if you need to, so you can explore what that feels like and how that changes the posture for you. Keeping the core engaged, so notice if you relaxed the belly when you brought the leg out, see if you can continue to tuck that navel up and in. If this is enough of a balancing challenge, stay right here. If you're looking for a little bit more, inhale that left arm up by the left ear, opposite arm, opposite leg, your human tug of war. Someone's pulling that left wrist and right ankle in opposite directions. Gaze down at the mat in between where both hands were. Embrace the shake. Keep breathing. Exhale, lower the left hand down and take that right foot, bring it outside in line with the hip. Notice how this feels. If you can try to get all four corners of all four corners of the bottom of the right foot flat on your surface, that would be ideal. If this is too much on the ankle, don't feel like you have to. You're just going to keep your hands on the mat to support yourself here. I'm going to change the positioning of my body so you can see what's coming next, but you can stay where you are. You can choose to stay right here, again, with your hands on the mat or on blocks, or if it feels okay, on the inhale, bring the torso to an upright position. You can stabilize this posture again with blocks if you need to. If it feels okay on the knee, explore bringing the hands to the hips. Inhale the left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the left arm over the right leg. Notice how this feels in the left side body. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, bring the left hand down in line with the left leg. It can come to a block or it can come to the mat. Inhale the right arm up overhead. Notice how this feels in the right side body. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, return both hands to the mat. And then slowly bring the right knee in to meet the left. Setting up for the opposite side, tabletop. Balancing table, inhale, send the left leg out behind you, flexing the foot, pressing the heel away from the body like you're pressing it into the wall behind you. Suck the navel up and in, engage the core. If this is enough of a balancing challenge, stay right here. If you're looking for a little bit more, inhale the right arm up by the right ear, opposite arm, opposite leg, human tug of war. Notice what the breath is doing. Notice what the mind is doing. If you need to return to those loving kindness mantras we set at the start of class, you may choose to do so at any time. Exhale, lower the right hand to the mat, and then bring the left foot outside the left hip. Same thing on this side. If you can, rotate at the ankle, trying to get all four corners of that left foot flat on the mat. If you can't because of the ankle there, that's okay. You can keep the foot on its side. Just continue to keep your hands on the mat or on the block in front of you to support this practice, this pose. If it feels okay and that foot is stable, bring the hands to the hips. Inhale the right arm up overhead. Exhale, reach the right arm up and over the left side body. Noticing how this feels along the right side body. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, right hand comes down to a block or the mat as the left arm comes up overhead. Wrapping that left arm, bringing the palm to face the mat. Keeping a lift in the chest. Notice if you're hunched over like this, that left shoulder wants to fall forward. Trying to engage the shoulder blades down the spine, maybe even exploring squeezing them together, keeping a lift in the upper body. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, hands come back down to the mat, and slowly return the left knee to meet the right in table. Exhale, walk the hands forward any amount, bringing the forehead towards the direction of the mat. If the forehead doesn't comfortably touch the mat, you can rest it on a prop, or you can rest it on your hands, coming into puppy pose or heart melting pose. Keeping the hips high if it feels okay on the shoulders and the neck space. Relax the shoulders, relax the arms. If this is too much on the shoulders or the arms, you can sink the hips over the heels any amount, but know that when you do so, it's adding more pressure to the knees. So explore different variations of this pose with props. You might choose to have a block beneath the forehead or a bolster beneath the torso. You might choose to widen the knees. But the intention of this pose is to melt the heart towards the direction of the mat. So I invite you to find a position where you can relax the muscles in the body with every exhale, slowly trying to imagine the heart melting towards the direction of the mat. And as you do so, I invite you to return to the loving kindness mantra you said at the start of class today, repeating those words to yourself inside the head or out loud. You might choose to use my words or your words. As always, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy, healthy, and safe. Adding some weight to the hands and slowly pressing the self back up to tabletop. Curling the toes on the mat behind you. Inhale, send the hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. It's the first one of the practice, so take it slow. Noticing how the backside body feels, maybe choosing to bend one knee at a time, both knees at the same time. Finding stillness in down dog, rooting down through all four corners of each palm and the top 2 ball points of each foot. Sending the heels towards the direction of the mat. They don't need to touch though. Micro bend in the knees as you press the hip bones, the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Notice how this feels by bending the knees. It often allows us to add more extension in the spine, which is more important in down dog than it is to have the heels touching the mat. Inhale, look at the hands. Exhale, walk the feet to the hands or the hands to the feet. Feet about hip width distance apart or any distance that works best for your body. Ragdoll, allowing the torso to hang heavy over the legs. Generous bend in the knees. If it feels good to rock side to side, you might choose to do so. Finding stillness in ragdoll, giving your head a little shake, no. And then a great big shake, yes. Rooting down through all four corners of each foot. Exhale, release the hands towards the direction of the mat. On the inhale, press down through those four corners of the feet to slowly rise up, rolling up as slow as you possibly can, avoiding a head rush. And when you are all the way up, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet parallel, they can be together or apart, any distance that works best for your body. Rooting down through all four corners of each foot. Inhale, bring those inner arches of the feet up towards your torso. Imagine you're engaging those muscles of the foot. Slowly pressing the ankles towards each other, tucking the tailbone under as you press the thighs back. Feel the power in the legs with those minor adjustments. Imagine this as your strong mountain foundation throughout practice. On the inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, draw shoulders away from ears. Softening the rib cage down, palms facing forward. Relinking the movement to the breath. On the inhale, the arms come up overhead. On the exhale, hands make their way to heart center. Moving to the pace of your own breath, inhaling the arms up and exhaling them to heart center. One more. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. And exhale, hands come to heart center. This time, inhale just the left arm up towards the ceiling. Right hand may choose to come to the hip. Reach the left arm up and over the right side body. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, switch those arms out. Right hand comes up overhead, left hand to hip. Reach the left hand up and over, the right hand up and over the left side body. Again, notice if you're crouching forward, see if you can keep a lift in the chin and the chest. You don't have to come down so far. Come to the point where you notice you want to tuck in and pause there. Inhale back up to center. Bring the left hand up to meet the right. You can keep the hands separated with a space between them. You can have a block between the hands, or you can choose to interlace the fingers, releasing the pointer finger up overhead. Exhale, micro back bend. Reach those arms up first towards the ceiling, grow long and tall before taking it back. Even if you just look at the ceiling, mini back bend. Exhale, forward fold, arms come over the legs, bend the knees, round the spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on mat, blocks, shins, or thighs as you lift the chin and chest, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, root down through all four corners of each foot to rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center. One more just like that, just a different variation of hand positioning if you choose. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Same thing this time, you can keep a block between those hands, or you can choose to keep the open space, or you can interlace the fingers and release the pointer tip finger towards the ceiling. Exhale, take both hands over to the right. Notice if that left shoulder comes down. Continue to stack the left shoulder on top of right, keeping a lift in the chest, almost like you're trying to press that right shoulder up towards the ceiling. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, take both hands over to the left. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, micro back bend. Reach those hands up towards the ceiling and then take it back. Even if it's just a little bit, maybe a little bit more than before. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, forward fold. Round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on mat. Block shins, thighs as you lift the chin and chest. Look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, press down through all four corners of each foot to rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center. Coming to the top of the mat in Tadasana, mountain pose. Finding that strong foundation. Moving into Surya Namaskara A or Sun Salutation A. Rooting down through all four corners of each foot. Drawing those inner arches up, pressing those ankle bones towards each other. Tucking the tailbone under as you press the thighs back. Elongate the spine, draw shoulders away from ears. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on mat, block shins or thighs as you lift the chin and chest, look forward. Exhale, step back. These can be off of the mat or they can be on the mat, your choice. For plank, press the heels away from the body, tuck the tailbone under as you suck the navel up and in, press up and into the shoulder blades, gaze down between both hands. Feel the power of the core in this pose. Exhale, lower all the way down, keeping the elbows close to the body. Press the tops of the feet on the mat, keeping the hands beneath the shoulders. Lift the chin and chest. Squeeze the legs together, baby cobra. Feel the power and the strength in the spine here. And notice if you're placing any pressure on the hands, try to remove that. Just focus on building our back muscles here. See if you can lift the hands off of the mat. Exhale, lower the torso down, hands stay beneath shoulders, curl the toes on the mat behind you. Inhale, use those strong arm muscles to press back through plank, knees off the mat or on the mat, and into downward facing dog. Big inhale in downward facing dog. Big exhale. On the next inhale, send yourself that compassion through loving kindness. Say that mantra to yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy, healthy, and safe. Inhale, look at your hands. Exhale, walk your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on mat, block shins, thighs as you lift the chin and chest, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, root down through all four corners of each foot to rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center. Tadasana at the top of the mat again. Hands come to hips. Take a giant step back with the right leg coming into crescent lunge. For crescent lunge, the left leg will be forward and bent. The right leg will be behind you and straight. Notice what that bend looks like in the front leg. If that knee is over those left toes, shorten your stance. Widen your stance so that the knee is above the ankle or about thereof. We don't want to put too much pressure on the knee when our center of gravity is high like this. You're on the top two ball points of the foot, the right foot in the back. Notice how this feels in the top of the right thigh, hip flexors. If this is too much, add a micro bend to that back knee. Engage the core. This pose involves a lot of balance. So that strong foundation that we were building in the feet for Tadasana is going to help here. Engaging those feet in foot and leg muscles, and also actively pressing the knee away, that left knee towards the left edge of the mat ever so slightly, like you're trying to press into somebody's hand on the outside of the left leg. Inhale, both arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, cactus arms, bend those elbows, lift the chin, shine the heart forward. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, drop the right ankle to the mat, opening the hips up towards the right edge of the mat. Warrior two on the left. Left leg is forward and bent. Right leg is behind you and straight. Same thing again. Notice where that bend is in the left knee. Is it over the toes? If it is, widen the stance. Bring it so it's over the ankle or about thereof. Press that knee towards the left toes. Notice how the legs and the shoulders feel here. Flip both palms up towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Return the palms back to center, gazing over the left fingertips. Peaceful warrior, flip the left palm. Inhale, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. Notice how this feels. Right hand can come to the right thigh. If this feels okay, maybe you explore taking the left hand back over the left leg. As you do this, imagine you're trying to touch the ceiling still. We want to elongate that spine before we bend in any pose. You can use that right hand to slide down the right leg to support you. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, extended side angle. Left elbow comes to left knee. Right arm comes up overhead. Wrapping that right arm, palm facing the mat. Keeping a lift in the chin and chest. Draw shoulders away from ears. Notice if we're crunching into this left neck space. If you can press the elbow into the leg, create some space for the shoulders. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Notice how that left leg feels and give yourself a hug. Bring the arms in, grabbing opposite shoulders, repeating that mantra to the self here. Sometimes it's hardest to do when we're uncomfortable, when our body is tired or our life is busy. So use this as an opportunity to practice here. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy, healthy, and safe. Return those arms out to warrior two. Straighten the left leg. Feel the release. When you straighten that knee, triangle pose, pop the hips as far back as they'll comfortably go. Reach that left hand as far forward as it will possibly go. And then hinge at the waist, bringing that left hand towards the direction of the left leg. Maybe you explore grabbing onto the thigh first. Notice how this feels. That feels okay. Maybe you explore holding onto the shin or bringing your hand to a block. Or maybe you rest it in front of the left ankle. Choosing a variation of this pose where you can maintain that opening of the chest, tucking the tailbone under. Notice what the breath is doing. Anytime your mind tells you you can't or tells you something negative, that negative self-talk arises, it's an invitation to repeat that mantra to the self. What we practice on the mat can often strengthen our habits off of the mat. Inhale, bend the left knee, return to warrior two, gazing over those left fingertips. Exhale, windmill the hands down to frame the left foot, coming into runner's lunge. Left leg is forward and bent, right leg is behind you and straight. Planting the hands on the mat, sending the left foot back to meet the right and plank. Knees can be on the mat or off the mat. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra, squeeze the legs together, lift the torso off the mat. Little to no pressure on the hands, tuck those elbows in, grasshopper arms. Downward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, look at your hands. Exhale, walk your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on mat, blocks, shins or thighs. Lift the chin and chest, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, root down through all four corners of each foot to rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, hand their way to heart center. Top of the mat, I'm going to change the positioning of my body, but you can stay right where you are. I'm going to do the same sequence on the opposite side. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up the sequence. That's okay. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Squeeze the legs together. Lift the chin and chest. Draw those elbows in towards each other. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press back through plank and into downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, step the right foot forward, runner's lunge. Right foot is forward and bent, left leg is behind you and straight. Engage the core here. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead, crescent lunge. Notice what that right knee is doing. If it's over the toes, bring it back. You can widen the stance. Pressing down through all four corners of that front foot, using the foundation of Tadasana with the foundation of the feet here. If there's any pain in the top of that right thigh, add a micro bend to the left knee. Sorry, the left thigh. Exhale, cactus arms, bend the elbows, squeeze shoulder blades together as you lift the chin and chest, shine the heart forward. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, drop the left foot to the mat, opening the hips up towards the left edge of the mat. Warrior two. Noticing again what that right knee is doing, ideally keeping it in line with the right ankle. Strong foundation in both feet, pressing down through all four corners of each foot. Notice what the shoulders are doing. Flip both palms up towards the ceiling. Draw shoulders away from ears. Return the palms back to center, palms down, gazing over the right fingertips. Peaceful warrior, flip the right palm. Inhale, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. And exhale it over the left leg. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, right elbow comes to right knee, left arm comes up overhead, extended side angle. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Opportunity here to give yourself a hug, grabbing opposite shoulders, returning to that loving kindness mantra. Same thing on this side. It's often hardest to do when we are uncomfortable. So notice if that's true for you. And it's most important that we do these mantras and these words to ourselves during these moments. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy, healthy, and safe. Returning the arms back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten the right knee. Feel the release in that pose. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Send the hips as far back as they'll comfortably go. Reach that right hand as far forward as it will comfortably go. And then hinge at the waist, bringing the hand to the thigh, right hand to the thigh first. Notice how this feels. If this feels okay and you still have some space in the legs and torso, maybe you explore moving down the right hand to the shin. If this feels okay, maybe you bring your hand to a block, any height. And if that feels okay, maybe you explore bringing the right wrist in front of the right ankle. Tons of variations, but choose a pose where you are able to comfortably breathe and you feel like you're creating space in the body. If you go too deep in this pose, it can often feel like you're crunching and you're shortening your body. Tucking the tailbone under, choosing to gaze either up at the left hand, straight ahead, or down at the right foot. Inhale, bending the right knee, returning to warrior two. Gazing over the right fingertips. Exhale, windmill the hands down to frame the right foot, coming into runner's lunge. Use the power of those left toes to press off the mat, bringing the left foot to meet the right in forward fold. Round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on mat, block shins or thighs as you lift the chin and chest, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, root down through all four corners of each foot as you rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center. Coming into dancer prep for our balancing pose today. Dancer is a deep back bend. We're not going to go into the full version of that pose today, mostly because we didn't warm up our back a whole bunch. But one of the things I love about dancer is that it opens the front of the chest. It's a heart opener. So we're going to get into that prep posture and open up the front of our chest. I invite you to find your gaze, your drishti, find a spot in front of you that's not moving. Gently rest your gaze upon that spot. Shift the weight into the left leg and create the Tadasana foundation with that leg. So press down through all four corners of the left foot. Draw that left arch up. Press that left ankle towards the right ankle. Draw the tailbone down as you press the thigh back. So really feel those muscles engage as you create the strong foundation in this left leg. And then bend the right knee. And we'll just start here. Maybe you bring the hands to the hips so they're not waving around or knocking you off balance. Notice what this feels like to bend the right knee. Maybe you return the foot to the mat as many times as you need to catch your balance. Or if it feels okay with the foot bent and you can bring that foot close towards the glute, maybe you explore reaching the right hand back to grab the top of the right foot. This is also a great pose to do if you have a yoga strap. You can place the strap around the right foot, or if you have a chair, you can place the foot on a chair. So if you have the foot off of the mat, either in a strap, on a chair, or in your hand, you can keep that left hand on the hip if it's adding stability, or if you're holding on to a piece of furniture, or you can bring it to heart center. And if you feel balanced, I invite you to explore bringing it to heart center, opening up the shoulder blades, the collarbones, the front of the chest. When you're ready, you're releasing the right foot to the mat, carefully taking it out of the strap or off of the chair if you have it there, and then give the limbs a shake. Shake out the arms and legs, and we will set up for the opposite side. Returning that drishti, your gaze, to a spot that's not moving, shifting the weight into the right leg, creating that strong Tadasana foundation with that right leg, so pressing down through all four corners of the foot, drawing that right arch up as you press the right ankle in towards the left ankle, dropping the tailbone down as you lift the right thigh up. Notice how strong that right leg feels. Then bring the hands to the hips and explore bending the left knee. Bring that left foot behind you any amount, even if it's just a centimeter off of the mat, and you continue to bring it to the mat to catch your balance. That's okay too. You're doing the pose. If you can bend that knee a significant amount and you feel strong and sturdy, maybe you choose to reach the left hand back, grabbing the top of the left foot from the outside. Maybe you use a yoga strap to grab that left foot. Maybe you are resting that foot on a chair. Again, a ton of variations. Find one that works best for your body today. You can keep that right hand on the hip, or you can bring it to heart center. Pressing that right thumb into the sternum, opening up the chest. Anytime you fall out of it and get back in it, remind yourself of your mantra. These are the times when the mantra is needed the most, when things are wobbly, difficult, when the mind's patterns take over and we do the negative self-talk. Every time you can rewrite that pattern, you're building a new road within the mind. And that new road will take you to the places that you aspire to go, have those qualities and traits you aspire to have. When you're ready, release the foot or return, taking the strap off of the foot or taking the foot off of the chair. When both feet are on the mat, give the arms and legs a shake it out. And we'll make our way onto our back for a reclined practice before Shavasana. I'm cushioning my surface with a blanket. You might choose to do the same. Lying flat on the back, bringing the feet to the mat, knees touching each other, walking the feet out as far as is comfortable for the body. Bringing the hands to cactus pose, bending the elbows, palms facing the ceiling. Gently shift the knees over to the right. Inhale the knees back up to center and exhale them over to the left. Inhale the knees back to center. And on the inhale, hug the knees into the chest, giving yourself a hug. If it feels good to rock from left to right on the spine, you might choose to do so. Exhale, extend the right leg as you continue to hug the right knee into the chest. Notice how this feels. If you need to bring the right knee over towards the right edge of the mat, you might choose to do so. Whatever feels best in the body. This is also a pose you can use with a yoga strap instead of the hands. Inhale, left knee comes back to center. Give yourself a hug. Exhale, extend the right leg as you hug the left knee into the chest. Same thing on this side. Maybe you explore bringing that left knee over towards the left edge of the mat. Inhale, hugging the right knee back into the chest to meet the left. Taking any other pose you feel you need to enter before Shavasana today. Maybe you go into an inversion from here, or happy baby, or any other pose your body feels it needs today. Or if you feel like you need to go right into Shavasana, you can. I'm going to invite you to explore a different shape for Shavasana today if it feels okay in the body. Ideally, my cushion would be a little bit smaller than this, but if you have a cushion or a block or something that you can place beneath the shoulder blades, as long as the head is supported so it's not hanging off of the prop that you're using, I invite you to do so to continue to create this openness in the front of the chest. If it doesn't feel okay, just a standard corpse pose for your Shavasana or any other pose that feels good works as well. And then I'm going to choose to keep my feet in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose, but bringing the soles of the feet together and allowing the knees to open towards the edges of the mat. If that feels okay within your body, you might choose to do so. If not, you can ignore it. But in Shavasana, consciously giving your body permission to release and relax, starting with the feet and the legs, allowing them to rest heavy, relaxing the belly, relaxing the heart center, which includes the shoulders, giving the arms and the hands permission to rest heavy wherever they are. Relax the neck and the head and all of the muscles on the face, including your tongue, jaw, eyes, and eyebrows. Feel completely supported by the earth beneath you as you receive the benefits from today's practice. Take a full deep inhale in through the nose, breathing deeply into the belly, the rib cage, and the chest. Noticing any sensations that may have entered the body with the breath. Gently begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, maybe taking some wrist and ankle circles, bringing slow and gentle movements back into the body. Maybe choosing to rock the head from left to right, like you're shaking your head no, but slowly. If you're in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose, take the hands to the backs of the thighs. The hands to bring them. Pausing there for a moment. When you're ready, rolling into fetal position on a side of your choice, being careful to move any props out of the way that might be in the way. Pausing in fetal position. And from fetal position, when you're ready, pressing yourself back into a comfortable seated posture of your choice. Perhaps it's the same one you began class with today. Returning to that foundation through the sit bones with the elongated spine. Bringing it to acknowledge how you are showing up physically, mentally. And with the same mantra you began class with today, again, it can be, you can use my words or your own that you set for yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease, healthy, and safe. May your practice be of benefit to you and to all of those around you. Thank you very much for sharing your practice with me. I bow in gratitude of each of you. Thank you all. Hope to see you sometime soon.